Hey everybody, hope you're doing well. I'm Lucas and welcome back to another video here on the channel. Today we have PSGL Round 6 at Mexico, which is the third last round of this season, if I remember correctly. Yeah, but hope you're all having an amazing day, and yeah, let's just jump straight into it. So, here's the race results from last time. We managed to pick up the win around Belgium, which was, yeah, pretty nice, but Mexico now. One of the trickiest... Probably one of the trickiest tracks to get everything to come together for you. It's so technically demanding, trying to get the car perfectly set up for, especially in a league race with quali and the race, trying to get the car in the right zone for both of those things is quite difficult on the setup side, for example. So yeah, not a simple track, and you've obviously got a lot of track limits you need to watch for, a lot of curbs that you need to be very, very committed over. And yeah, this is our first run of Q1, by the way, going on in the background as I'm talking. But yeah, let's just jump straight into it. So, well, I mean, I'm a bit late to start commentary on this lap. But anyway, heading into the middle sector now. Got to use, as I was just touching on, a lot of the... Yeah, you've got to push the track limits. You've got to use a lot of the road available to you, because it makes this middle section so much straighter. I mean, on the game, you don't have the altitude effect that you see in the real life F1. We're able to take massive corner speed through the middle sector. So it's sort of like a Magus Beckett's through there. It's incredibly fast paced, except a bit more on the track limit. And yeah, last corner now. Rear tyres are a little bit gone by this point. Very easy to overcook it, but we set a good enough lap to do
I thought it was going to be a lot slower, to be honest, but
to get through in one run. So that is us P1 and P2 with our teammate Barry, and we also have our teammate Wilson in here as well. Yeah, very close actually, 6,000 I think I saw it was there. I think you're going to see a recurring theme in this qualifying, if I remember correctly. It was quite hilarious actually, but yeah. We've got two sets of new tyres for both Q2 and Q3, which is the crucial thing that we always try and aim for in these sessions. But yeah, I'll run you through a lap now. Heading into turn 1, you don't want to completely oversend it into turn 1. You've got to set yourself up for 2 and 3. It's important to get good speed through 2 and 3, get the cuts just perfect over the inside orange curbs if you're going to use them, and then get a run all the way down to turn 4, which we're at now, into turn 5, opting to hold 4th gear. There is a wide variety of gear selections that you can use. We opt to hold 4th this entire section, but you can use, you know, 3rd or, you know, practically whatever you want as long as you're quick with it. Dropping it to 6th, trying to stay on the inside of these curbs. It's very easy when you dismount these curbs to actually upset the car, and then you actually have quite a hard time catching it. So heading out into the final sector, quite smooth through there actually, carrying nice speed. Very easy to lock up either the front left or the front right on that way as you're sort of cross-loading across the curb while braking into low speed corners. It gets very challenging, saving the distance to the line. And we set a pretty solid banker, and we have set...
You can't make that up!
No way.
That is impressive.
So, as you just saw there, Barry and I set the exact same lap time to the 1,000th of a second, identical. So, Q1, 6,000ths apart, Q2 first run, exactly the same lap time. So... what are the odds? But anyway, chucking it into turn 1 with quite a lot of speed actually, but not getting that optimal a cut over turn 2. That's a perfect example of what I was referring to in the first run. We carried a lot of speed in, but we actually compromised ourselves for turn 2 and therefore 3 as well. But getting to the apex quite nicely into 4, so tricky to get that direction change because you're constantly winding speed off as you're going into this sort of stop-start slow speed section. And we do manage to gain though, probably about 400s, half a tenth through there, and then it's all about high speed commitment. How much are you willing to risk? We get actually quite a good rotation from the car on that initial sort of, the middle part of all of that. I don't know what corner number it would have been, but yeah, heading into the final section. How we're gonna get on? We get to the apex relatively well, opting to use that curb. Again, it's quite optional as to whether you want to do that. We have a bit of traffic ahead of us, but we do manage just to improve that tiny little bit, nothing major. And yeah, that's us through to Q3, P1 and P2 as a team, with Wilson in P4, so looking strong for the markers at this point. But yeah, now for Q3 now, for it to hopefully all come together smoothly. which is very, very difficult to do at this track. So, heading into turn 1 now. Are we going to send it out? Then that's perfect through turn 1. We got the car nicely to the apex, nice and smooth. Not quite the exit we wanted from 3, but apart from that, nice and tidy through there. So solid start. Heading into turn 4, getting to the apex nicely. How do we get? Maybe a tiny bit, a touch wide through 5, sorry. But we hug a nice tight line through the double apex right-hander, which sets us up nicely. Up to 7th, down back to 6th, using a lot of road on the inside. It's sort of just trying to be brave enough to use as much of that road as we can. Decent track width usage. Maybe we could have used a bit more roads, but again, it's the first run of Q3. You don't want to put your eggs in one basket and then, you know, invalidate. It's very easily done. I did it in esports actually, so it just shows you how easily it's done on the first run. But it's been a clean banker lap. What's it going to be as we come towards the line? It is a .688 and...
Same lap time!
Same lap again, I'm done,
Yes,
I'm done,
no,
I'm
you
done.
take it
No
the
way.
piss.
I'm
You
done.
take it the
Did we
piss.
do the same lap?
You
No, I'm
both
done.
take it the piss.
How Lucas is ahead of
What
me?
the?
I'm not
You both take
accepting
it the
this.
piss.
we set the exact same lap time again in the same session to the 1,000th of a second, which was insane. So, heading on to the final run now, as we'll just jump to the chase. Wilson jumped up to P1 and then Tomic after as well, because Wilson had, I think he just had one set, but did a really good middle run in the session, so fair play to him. Tomic finishing his final run very early actually, but now on, this is an important lap for us to nail because there is still quite a bit of time left on the table, and so far we're only marginally up. We get to the apex relatively well, but we're a bit too shallow maybe, but we are up by 400s. But now it's important for us to nail it. We don't quite get to the apex that well though. We see a yellow flag pop up. We actually get put off slightly, which is more on me than anything else. And because of that, I got a little bit too distracted by that yellow flag. And we lost, you know, 500, 600 through there, which was, yeah, not ideal. Now we've got it all to do and it's looking pretty dire at this point. Carrying a bit too much speed, losing the rear now. We're just having to push too hard to regain the lap time. And we just don't have an answer for it, and yeah, unfortunately we don't even improve on that last run, and that puts us P5. Still a solid place for the race. My face is actually raging in that screenshot. Oh my goodness.
Okay, be careful.
So yeah,
Good luck, boys.
we're still in a good position for the race. We've got yeah, our teammates right in front of us as well, so it's looking good for the markers. But as you can see now, 5 red light on your screen on the hard tyres, and we are away. This was still at the phase when the hards didn't have any temperature at the start of the race, and we get an appalling start, which is not really like us on this game. We usually get pretty damn good starts, but we've had a miserable start, and now we've got the hard task of somehow defending from not one, but 2 cars on the inside and outside. So we're just sort of playing the angles at this point. We managed to defend from somehow both cars, and now we're remained P5, and we've got Jan Otmir as well on the medium. But now I'm wanting to try and see if we can make our way up in this train, because yeah, we knew that there was all to play for in this train with the strategy and stuff. So we're actually side by side with our teammate Wilson Hughes, keeping it really clean racing as well, which is, you know, huge hats off to Wilson on that front, because we kept it clean, we kept it smart. We knew the races weren't going to be won at the beginning, and yeah, we're actually a McLaren P2, 4 and 5, which is a great outlook for this race, and you can hear me thanking Wilson for that, because we played it really smart and didn't lose any time in the process. So heading through to the final sector for the first time in this race, and as you can see, I think Brendan went for a huge dive bomb on Wilson in the background. So already it kicks off. At Mexico it typically does get quite spicy. I mean, if you've watched F1 esports, you will know.
So slow.
Yeah, fine well
60.
about how
Friendly
spicy it can
65
get.
wasn't.
This race typically throws up quite a hectic one. But yeah, skipping on to lap 3 now. Jarno Otmir and Jake Benham, as you can see, on the medium tyres, so
35.
we'll have more pace at this early phase in the race. So it didn't make any logical sense for us to fight these guys. It would be more advantageous to just follow them through, maybe try and see if they can create opportunities against any other hard runners ahead. And yes, skipping on to lap 5, Jake Benham now probably going to go for the move, and I didn't want to. At this point, I mean, you can also hear our engineers talking in this race as well. which was a great insight as well for us. So yeah, Jake actually completely overshooting that, and so we're going to go right round the outside again of turn 2, and yeah, as we were, so we held that off pretty nicely.
I mean, I need to stay with the cars ahead, but I mean, it's unreal.
Yeah, you could just
if
see
it's
him.
costing you too much and you're dropping back, then just let him go. He's on mediums anyway, so we'll get him later.
I know, I did let him go, but then he made a mistake, so...
Yeah.
So yeah, as you can just see, we're talking to the engineers about what just happened, but yeah, we're sitting in a great position at this point in the race. P4 of the hard runners, and
my game crashed, my game's crashed.
my game crashed.
My game has crashed. Right, as long as my AI is still going, that's fine, I'm just trying to get the game to
still
close. I'll reboot F1, no panic, let me just do what I can.
Unlucky, bro.
Nah, it's not done, I'm not done until I say it's done.
Yeah.
I've got an invitation back, I don't care.
Yeah, AI is still in P7.
Just keep me updated on that, please, that's all I need to know.
Yeah. P6 even.
It's done when I say it's done, I'm not having this. Restarting game, restarting game.
Pretty goddamn and quick in the streets.
The AI better not be using the frickin' ERS, sorry.
AI still running P8.
Copy, copy.
Yeah.
Rejoining, join session, I'm in, joining, loading.
Yeah, the AI is saying that. Yeah, we're P13 right now.
I don't care, I'll make up for it.
Yeah, man.
That's us big time.
Taking control, taking control. I'm back.
Yeah, do what you can.
Careful with your tires.
Trust me, I don't give up easily.
We'd have to let Brendan by to catch. If not, we just won't catch. I won't really have a choice anyway.
So now, we have all to do going forward in this race. So we had a game crash, we were set back in the field, and now we've got it all to do. Making advantage of Patrick Seapos's error now, heading onto, we're on lap 13 now, so there's still lots of laps left in this race, and all I tried to do there in that situation was just remain as calm as possible, because that's what you need to try. It's not always easy to do that, but in that situation, every second I saved getting back into the lobby is at the earliest opportunity, as we make a huge dive bomb on the inside of Yoni Tormola. Unfortunately get demon dragged. We left enough room, but the cars just started to, like, you know, snap into each other, which was unfortunate, so apologies to Yoni for that one. But yeah, making our way up the field now as we skip onto lap 16, as we have actually as we dive into the pits. And if you have a keen eye, I made a complete rookie error, which is going to cost me big time in this race. I cut the pit. I mean, within the game's limit, it's obviously allowed, but in PSGL, if you cross the white line with all four wheels and don't enter the pit on the normal roads, you will get a 5-second time penalty. And in my instinct of pitting in that moment, I completely forgot about it, which is a rookie mistake, but I didn't really think about it going into this race, so that could come back and bite us in later in this race. But at this point, it didn't make a difference to me. It was all about keeping my head down and trying not to give up. So, exiting the pits now, getting ahead of Yoni Tormola again. Statue exiting the pits, so we're going to go up the inside on hot medium tyres, and that should be us up into, I believe, well, I mean, it doesn't really matter what position it is, because, I mean, it's out of sync at the moment anyway, but yeah, the key thing is we're halfway through the race now, and all we want to do is try and, yeah, keep everything going nice and smoothly. So, catching up some cars ahead of us now. We have Donoso and Pagenio ahead, and there's a lot of fighting going on ahead as well. I believe we've got our teammate Wilson Hughes trying to get past a Haas maybe, and ahead of us, and we've had so many snaps with that middle set. Oh my goodness me! But yeah, pushing on behind Fabrizio Donoso, who I think is going to have a look up the inside of Ruben Pagenio, going down the inside, and they make contact, so we're going to actually sneak past Ruben Pagenio. We cut the inside line off for him, so we make one position up there for us, which is pretty sweet. And yeah, we should hopefully have a chance on Fabrizio down this main straight if we want it. We use a bit of energy. We're using quite a bit of energy actually make that, and DRS is open, Fabrizio doesn't have it, and this should be a pretty smooth overtake for P11 on the road. So, making advances after that early setback with our game crash. It's just, you know, you can get thrown a lot of things in these races, you know, so you just got to try, albeit it's very much easier said than done. Just got to try and keep your head down, there's nothing more you can do than that. So, onto lap 20 now, we've caught up to the back of Jake Benham, and Fabrizio Donoso now. As yeah, we don't have DRS now actually. We do have DRS, but for some reason I think Fabrizio Donoso wanted to re-overtake us, and yeah, that was that. Straight up the inside, we didn't want to overfit.
What are you doing? Just pass.
Yeah, so you can hear I'm actually getting a little bit frustrated now because we're just losing time in doing this, and yeah, it was a case of I don't know. I just felt there was a bit of time wasted there, but nonetheless. 2 cars ahead fighting now. We've got Jake Benham and our teammate Wilson Hughes fighting, which slows the pack up, and we tag the back of Fabrizio Donoso, and then yeah, that was not ideal at all because all of that chaos ahead of us made it very hard for me to avoid Fabrizio there. Naturally, all the blame will always fall on my side anyway for, you know, I'm the car behind, so I need to, you know, respect what the car ahead does, but it was just a very unfortunate situation where Fabrizio took a wider trajectory due to the cars in front of him, and then I took the tighter line and it left me with very few places to go, which is just, yeah, this race has just been chaos already, but we're sending it now round the outside of Jake Benham on our medium tyres versus his hards. Obviously he started in the medium, so we're going to get the grip against him now, albeit his tyres might come back towards the end of the race. And now we have Wilson Hughes as well ahead of us, our teammate, so we're back in sync with at least one of our, you know, compatriot cars basically, which is, you know, can only help us going forward in this race. Having a snap of oversteer there as well, goodness me. But on to lap 28 now. We've somehow clawed our way back into P6 now, as we're going to overtake our teammate Wilson Hughes here and start working together with them to try our best anyway to catch up ahead to Jarno Opmeer, whose hard tyres at this point are probably going to actually be better than our mediums, so it's going to be pretty much impossible, but yeah, end of the day, you just got to keep trying. So
let's try and shake him
up to P6 now, and yeah, it's been a solid comeback, but now Jori Tormala has retired from the session, and it is a safety car.
What's happened? I can't see. I can't see.
Do we pit?
I'll box. I'm happy to box here. Box, box, box.
God. I didn't box.
Wilson box. Wilson box soft.
Oh my god, what is...
So we have now opted to box under the safety car. Some cars have stayed out, some cars have opted to box. We are going to box, and we are going on to a fresh set, or I think it's a fresh set, of soft tyres. And
now I have,
the key now is...
yeah, and you're at the front.
What was I going to say? Yeah, the key now was, as you saw there, we didn't have the safety car notification pop up as a glitch due to our disconnect game crash earlier. So anyway, our teammate Barry Berman is actually leading this train, so
that we can anticipate if possible.
Yeah, we're now in the mix of a bunch of cars on new tyres, a bunch of cars on old tyres. It's 2 laps to go once we get under green flag. It's all going to kick off, so we're P9.
Oh my god,
let's see how we can get on from here, and we can't overtake until we basically get out this last corner effectively, so yeah, unfortunately we lost out with Carter Lundy, so we're miles back behind from some of these cars due to that really messy restart, but 2 laps to go, all or nothing, fresh tyres, time to full send. Carter Lundy on the outside, Tomic going towards the inside. Can we make it 2 and 1? We switch it to the inside and we send it on the brakes as late as we humanly can, get to the apex, and that is us up into P7, 2 for the price of 1. That's how we do it, and now we've got to try and chase the pack ahead, swerving straight to the right to break that slipstream, but unfortunately the gap to the cars ahead is a bit bigger than we would have liked, so we didn't have any opportunities early on in this this restart, and we only had like a lap and a half basically to go, so every single meter counts. So now we've got it all to do. We need to try and get past Jake Benham now, who is on hard tyres, and Danny Beresti ahead of him on the medium tyres, so we could potentially get P5, which would be a net 4-place gain in this restart. Losing the rear, pushing like crazy, trying to make the best of this restart. onto the brakes now, into the final sector. We've got so much more grip than Jake Benham ahead of us. We have a look up the inside. We send it. Do we get the move done? Yes, we do. Using that grip advantage to the best we can. And now we're on to Danny Beresney. I mean, there's nothing Jake Benham could have done there. We literally have so much more grip. So now it's all about trying to get Danny Beresney. Everybody's going to be on the ERS button because we all got to recharge under safety car. You can see me here actually opt to switch it off because we knew we weren't going to get the move done. But what we should be able to do is close all the way up to Danny Beresney now under braking with our grip advantage and then use our battery. So right on the back of Danny Beresney, trying to get the best exit we can. We get a pretty solid launch. Now the energy has been deployed. Now how are we going to make this move? We'll look to the outside slightly, but we send it all the way up the inside. Danny Beresney thankfully leaves the room. Now we've got to hang it all the way around the outside. We have the grip advantage, so we've just got to play the angles, sending it deep and holding a wide line through the double apex right-hander, keeping it within track limits, and bang, up to P5. And now we have Jarno up me on a set of hards. We could yet get another position here, and yeah, it's going to be tricky though. We're right on the back of Jarno. We had to lift because we have so much more grip, but now on the button, Jarno had more top speed than us. He's defending to the inside, swerving back to the outside, onto the brakes now. Do we have a chance into this final section? Having a look at the inside, Jarno immediately defends, so we send it for the outside, side by side with Jarno up here. We just couldn't quite get far enough alongside, so we have to take evasive action. I don't want to make an illegal overtake into the last corner, so we bail out of it, and we're sending it to the line. Who can get there first? Jarno or me? It's going to be Jarno, and what an insane race to get back to P5 in. And albeit in the end, I think I didn't even score a point in this race after the grid, after the pit entry thing got applied as well. But I think that is an example of why you should always push and try and never give up in these races, because anything can happen. So yeah, we gave it everything. I hope you enjoyed this chaotic race. Have a great rest of your day. Thanks so much for the support, and I'll hopefully catch you guys in the next video. Take care, love you all, and ciao.